Hello folks, thank you so much for having me. I deeply appreciate being present with you here and such amazing work and solidarity that is happening here. Firstly, when I walked in here today, I saw the Irish flag, and it's one of the main first things that caught my eye. And the deep resilience of the Irish people that teached us through years and decades and centuries about what does it mean to fight colonialism and imperialism in the heart of the empire, makes me reminded that all of us, everyone here today, is again a part of a very big legacy that we're all trying to participate in, a legacy of people who fought against colonialism and imperialism. And in that legacy, every person who stood up to a tyrant, every person who stood up to injustice is a part of that legacy. And I'm very proud to stand with you today as a part of hopefully a community, of hopefully a solidarity community that stands against injustices, that knows that its roots are not only represented in a flag, are not only represented in a story, but is represented in so much resilience and fighting against colonialism. So thank you so much for being here and being a big part of that. I'm also very touched by the continuous resilience and the continuous ability for us to show up in places like this, to show up in places where the colonialists, where the imperialists, where the people who's killing our brothers and sisters in Palestine and all over the world are residing here to make the decisions behind closed doors in these high towers. It's very important for us to be continuously present here. As was mentioned, my story is pretty brief. I stood against King's College London for the investment that it holds against Elbit systems, for the investment that it holds in every facet of Israeli society, in it being sponsored by Palantir, a company that's profiteering from genocide and occupation. And I want you folks to understand something that's very important. Yes, King's is trying to deport me and report me to the Home Office. But in the same breath that it's doing that, it's taking a page off of the Trump book. It's also disciplining 26 pro-Palestinian activists in King's College London. However, they happen to be more privileged to have British passports that would protect them from being deported. The point here is very important. Once, when I was 7 years old, with my family as a kid, I saw the Egyptian revolution stand against authoritarianism, stand against imperialism that entrenched so far to the heart of our homes. And I stood and I saw people left, right and center getting killed in front of my eyes as a 7 years old kid. And such experience taught me one thing, that regardless of what is on the line for you, standing against injustice knows no excuses. And standing against injustice knows no individuals. We have people and communities who put their hearts on the line. Again, the Irish people stand as an amazing example of that. We have so much communities who put their lives on the line to stand up against injustice. And we are part of those people. And I'm here to say to you that while the case of what King's College London is trying to do is a heinous attack on freedom of speech, we owe it to ourselves, we owe it to the future generations, that all of these things that they're doing to stop us, whether it's visa cancellations, whether it's imprisonment, whether it's much more, we owe it to ourselves. We owe it to all of these next generations that they do not wake up in a place where apartheid, genocide and occupation is a normality. So regardless of what happens to us, regardless of what we lose, we owe it to stand up to them, regardless of what they're going to make to all of us, regardless of what we're going to suffer. We owe it to those generations. And we stand up here while thousands upon thousands of people died in Ireland, died in Auschwitz, died in the hands of Nazi Germany, died on the hands of the British Empire before that, that teached us one valuable thing. That regardless of what we have on the line, regardless of what are we sacrificing, it's never too much. I stand here with you, and to be completely frank with you, I don't know if in a few months I'll find myself in possibly a dungeon in a Sisi prison in Egypt. I do not know if that's going to be my reality or not. If it is my reality, which is very sad, we owe it to ourselves to continue such fight. Because if we do not continue this fight, then 680,000 people in Gaza have died for nothing. And we should all reject that with our souls and our hearts here today and for every single day until we have a free Palestine. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. And we want to tell you, one, we're going to fight for you to remain here. But if by some mischief you end up in a prison in Egypt, we have hope because we got Allah out of prison. And Mona stands here as the person who did a lot of mobilizing for that. And we want you to know that whether we're fighting for you here or fighting for you somewhere else, we will be fighting for all prisoners of injustice.